Well, while that's been happening today, in the south of Joburg, a group of residents affected by water problems, like so many other people across the country, are now holding a picket to try and put pressure on the city to resolve the problem. They're also talking about trying to institute what you might call a tax revolt. In other words, they're considering not paying taxes, rates to the city because it's not delivering services. Shane Duthie is from the Linmeyer Awareness Group, a non-profit group, a resident of that area. Shane, good afternoon to you. What kind of water problems are you actually having? How long have they been going on for?
Good afternoon, Stephen. Thank you very much for having us on. We've got a humanitarian crisis going on here. We haven't had water in our area for now going on 5 days. This is not an isolated incident. This is an event that has occurred frequently over the past 3 years particularly. In the past 3 years, we've gone without water on more than 10 occasions. This is a suburb and an area that has not only got clinics and schools and people and businesses. We've also got a disabled learning center here, which has been forced to go without. And the people, quite frankly, are fed up. And we're picketing this evening and hoping for some accountability, the operative word being hoping. We've had no long-term solutions proposed by either Rand Water or Joburg Water, who continue to kick the blame amongst one another. And we are incredibly frustrated with this crisis that we are facing.
So, I presume Joburg Water is in charge of the connections, the water in the streets that we can see on our screen now. Do they just not respond to this?
In terms of response, we normally deal with them through the councillor. And the communication that we receive from them consistently places the blame at the foot of Rand Water. And once we approach them and speak to them, they kick the can back towards Joburg Water. The communication is unbelievably poor and enhances the frustration of the people tenfold more.
There's a relatively new mayor in Joburg, Kabelo Gwamanda. Do you know if he's even aware of this problem?
I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't, to be honest with you, Stephen. Something else that I just wanted to raise is the affected wards at the moment and that have been experiencing this problem for prolonged times are DA-run wards. And our councillors are doing everything that they can. We are not placing the blame at their foot. But I often think to myself that were we in Cape Town, and this were to happen in perhaps, say, Constantia or Rondebosch, the DA would be there immediately to ensure that water was restored timeously.
Okay. So you have a picket tonight. There's also, I understand, talk of a sort of tax revolt. Are people looking at not paying their rates and taxes to the city?
I think all legal avenues are being considered. We are in discussions with neighbouring and affected ratepayers associations to consider what our legal options are. A lot of people are considering that, and fair enough. Why do you need to pay for services that you're not getting?
As far as I know, the Constitutional Court has looked at cases like this and come to the conclusion that in the end you still have to pay. I don't know if you're aware of that, but it would seem to be, under any circumstances, illegal not to pay.
I'm pretty sure that it will be, and that's why I said we would be investigating and seeing what we can consider and what our options are. But yeah, going 5 days without water, like I said, not an isolated incident. We will definitely be considering our legal routes, and if we need to form a civil suit and hold them to account, that's what we will do.
Shane Duthie, thank you. From the Linmeyer Awareness Group, a resident of the affected area, also arranging that picket this evening. Could be speaking for so many communities around the country at the moment.